Learning to mix music is far from easy. It takes time, hard work, investment, and patience. But there are some very simple things that can speed up this process very quickly. Doing these 5 simple things that I'm gonna tell you about today will improve your mixing skills. And it might not be what you think. Let's go. Hey everybody, this is IDs and today we're gonna talk about the 5 things you can do now to improve your mixing skills. I wanted to make this video because I feel like nowadays a lot of people think that to mix well, you have to learn a lot of complicated things that take years. Yes, learning to mix takes time, it's true, but some things are really easy to learn and implement into your workflow. Before we start this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that every time I release a video, you are the first one to know. Let's go. The first thing to do, and that's honestly the easiest to apply, is to listen to music every day. For us who are interested in the field of music mixing, this might seem completely normal. However, many people forget about how beneficial listening to music can be for our brain. Without knowing it, listening to music improves the perception of details, spaces, and depth. The human ear is a tool that needs to be fed and trained on a daily basis. It is therefore impossible to become good at mixing without it. Also, the big advantage of doing that is that you will be inspired by the ideas you hear, and therefore more creative. And in 2022, believe me, you need creativity to make good mixes. Number 2, compare your mixes to references. But what exactly is a reference in music mixing? A reference is a pro song that you like, that you enjoy listening to, and above all, that your ears know well. Really well. A lot of people are stuck with this principle of comparing your stuff with professional songs because they just don't want to be compared. They feel that they don't have the skills to compare their amateur mix to a professional mix, which might seem normal, but just keep in mind that using references recalibrate your ears in real time to readjust and optimize your mix for better results. And doing this is not a thing that only amateurs do. Even the most legendary sound engineers do it every day. So why not you?
I don't know. Please don't ask me that.
Number 3, learn from your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but for some people this is not an easy task at all. And I can understand that, but sometimes you have to put your pride aside and accept both positive and negative feedback. Believe it or not, the best judges are people who know nothing about mixing. Why is that? Because a mix is not made to be listened to by a professional sound engineer, but by a general public. My best advice is to try to get as many opinions as possible from people around you. Friends, family, whoever they are, whatever they do in life, whatever the knowledge of music. In this field, an opinion is always a good opinion.
I think it's good, except it sucks.
Well, most of the time. Number 4 in this list, do things 100%. Don't be afraid to turn the knobs, to push values to the extreme, to do things 100%. This is so essential. Don't forget that music is a fast-moving business. We don't have time to think for hours about a reverb time, about tens of dB, or about a choice of plugin. Our job is to make decisions. When you don't do things 100%, you simply don't learn, you don't improve, because you won't be able to judge the mix decisions you've made correctly afterwards. If you want to be inspired, go check out videos from Chris Laudarji. He is a legendary sound engineer for many years, and what impressed me the most when I watch his videos is the way he pushes faders and knobs all the way up to make the best decisions of mixing. To find these videos, just search for Chris Laudarji on YouTube and you will have everything you need. And the last tip of the day, be organized and methodical. In purely practical terms, this is the most important tip on this list. Being structured and methodical will save you hours and hours of unnecessary work. So this is not really a tip to improve your mixing skills, but rather to be more efficient, which is crucial in the music business. 2 things are important. The first one is to have an organized session. It is therefore essential to have session templates. And the second thing to be organized and methodical is simply to have a structured mind. Okay, I know this might sound very philosophical, but your mind is your guide, which means that if it's unstructured, you will quickly get lost in your ideas. Example of questions might be, in what order will I proceed? What am I going to do next? Why am I doing this action? How will I do my next action? Thinking this way is essential, and if it's too hard for you, which I can totally understand, just write it down so that whenever you're lost, boom, you can remember all the questions you have to ask yourself to keep working the right way. I remember that in my early years, I thought having an organized session was enough, but my mind was not at all. It was a mess. So to wrap this up, I think that audio mixing is an area that often asks for a lot of attention to detail. But as with everything, you need a solid foundation to dig deeper. When you get stuck somewhere in your mixing process, think about these 5 simple things, because it might be one of these 5 things that is blocking you. What's really cool about these principles is that they can all be worked on in different time frames. Being organized, for example, is worked on in the moment, but listening to music will be done over several months and years. I can assure you that as soon as you understand and apply these 5 things, you will be way more efficient and you will save an incredible amount of time. So that is it for this video. I hope you got something out of it. If not, well, I try to do better next time. But honestly, I think these 5 things can completely change the quality of your mixes. For me, it changed a lot of things. Again, if you enjoyed watching this video and learned something today, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can learn more about mixing in the field of hip hop and pop music. See you next week. Bye.